Yeah?
When will you update him?
I'll be calling him this evening.
Mr. Kao, why do you always criticize the media in all of your presentations from day one to day four?
Why does the media always criticize my client? Full stop. Next question. This case doesn't differ from any other case. What does differ is the sheer love the Filipino nation have for my client. And I've seen it on a daily basis. I go to Mr. Duterte in his detention centre, and I see the people waiting there every day, just hoping. It happens even when I travel abroad. As I land at the airport, there are Filipinos there, and they recognise me straight away. And they come up to me, they want to hug me, and then they cry. They cry because by crying on my shoulder, they can feel that they're getting something from the president. And we hope that when you conclude your deliberations, Your Honours, that you will dismiss these grievously misplaced and politically motivated charges. We will ask you to send Rodrigo Duterte back to his family, and we will ask you to give back to the Filipino people their Tatay Digong. Thank you, Your Honours. And then, exactly in the spirit of the waiver filed with this court, he looked at me solemnly and said, Mr. Kaufman, Nick, I have done my duty and I have left my legacy. Go to court and do your job, but I can no longer help you. I no longer remember much at all, and I can't comment on people who I do not know and on statistics that mean nothing to me. He then concluded and pronounced as follows: I was a faithful servant of the people, and that is how I wish to be remembered. I have now accepted my fate, and I realize that I could die in prison. There is no smoking gun in this case, and that is not for want of a desperate attempt to find one on the part of the prosecution, with all their leading questions when they interviewed their criminal cooperating witnesses. Not one witness relevant to any of the 49 incidents with which Mr. Rodrigo Duterte is charged will testify that he received a direct order from the former president to go out and kill someone. Let us just digest this. All those speeches where the former president made various threats to kill, but not one demonstrable incident set out in the prosecution's document containing the charges, which details an act of murder committed as a result of a direct order given by him. This, in and of itself, should be sufficient to convince any reasonable bystander observing the conduct of these proceedings that Rodrigo Duterte is innocent of these charges levelled at him. It is for this reason, and because of the complete lack of reliable cooperating witnesses, that the prosecution has alleged not one, but a plethora of theories as to the means of perpetration, to link the crimes allegedly committed to the person who is far removed from the incidents of murder and who has been targeted for prosecution. And I say targeted for prosecution. Normally, I would say that such a multiplicity of legal theories speaks to a lack of clarity and prosecutorial uncertainty. Indeed, some of these modes of liability, as pleaded, contradict each other as a matter of logic. Nonetheless, I would like to make the following general observation. As the defense has progressively reviewed the massive databases of evidence disclosed, it has become increasingly apparent that given the absence of direct evidence directly implicating Rodrigo Duterte, or even indicating his participation in or control over any one of the 49 incidents alleged in the document containing the charges, the prosecution has resorted to papering over the cracks with human rights reports, press statements, hearsay, and of course, Mr. Duterte's bluster and political hyperbole. And where these documents are not suffice, the prosecution has resorted to the time-worn theory of indirect co-perpetration, Article 25(3)(a), of which the parameters I would respectfully submit are still subject to dispute. So I will now turn to this mode of liability, which is the principal mode of liability leveled at Rodrigo Duterte. In my opening remarks a couple of days ago, I talked about the general fairness of pursuing charges brought by a prosecutor who was formerly a representative for more than 100 victims of Mr. Duterte's alleged crimes. I also talked about a recorded telephone conversation in which one of the participants bragged about acting as President Marcos Jr.'s silent partner for channeling witnesses to the ICC. Apparently, I raised the presidential spokesperson's hackles considerably. So let me quote a bit more so that I can assure her that my cognitive faculties, which she doubted, are in fact intact. And this is what this covertly recorded individual, who I'm forbidden from naming, said. They cooperate through me, since I don't hold a position. Redacted. But we are able to do it. So what? What happened here is an ICC investigator will give me a list of witnesses, documents they need to bolster the case against Duterte, then I provide it. I give it to the different agencies so it can be approved. There are witnesses who need a pardon. I get the authority from the president, and they are granted a pardon. Basically, like that, it becomes a priority mission of the government. I don't think I've disclosed here, Madam President, any working methodology of the Office of the Prosecutor.